Hey, how's it going? Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, do that thing down below. So as the title suggests, I'm having to give up on the tubeless setup on my KTM 390 Adventure. Not the best timing. I'm at the beginning of a trip. I had a leak on the rear wheel and I thought it was the valve stem, and I'd worked with it trying to get the valve stem sealed. I was able to do that, but in that process, I learned that two of the spokes were leaking, and I went and resealed those and then retaped the entire spoke bed. And in doing that, I thought I had it sealed. It was holding air for multiple days, but I'm out on this trip after doing that, and now the tire is losing air at a very fast rate. The only option at this point is to take the wheel off and drop in a tube. So that's what I'm getting ready to do. I have been disappointed that this has happened. I got about 5,000 miles on the tubeless setup with no problems, even switching tires, and for some reason I can't get it to seal back up. I'm not able to get the spokes, I'm not able to get those to seal back up like I had before. The only option I have now is to put a tube in it. Now, I apologize for the background noise. I'm on the side of the road. I found a little bit of shade at a business that's closed. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna time myself. I think I can do it in under an hour. I'm hoping I can do it in about a half hour. I have everything I need. I just gotta take the tire off, pop the bead, drop a tube in. So it's not like I have to pull a tube out. I just gotta put that in. So minus the filming, that's all it should take. So let's get this beast started. Strip, so I'm going to have to try to salvage this in some way to cover up the spokes so that my tube isn't mashed into them or rubbing on the spokes. So some of the silicone that I put on the spokes when I reseated them is gone. So I'm going to have to try to save this somehow, lay it in there, and hope the tube holds it in place. So that's what we're going to do now. So this is, I made more of a mess than I really needed to make this happen. So, I don't know. All right, apologize for the road noise. I haven't moved. It took me about an hour to get this sorted out. I ran into a few problems like my valve stem puller breaking, so that made things a bit challenging. So I had to put the valve stem on the back side of the wheel, or the tire, or off the bead instead of on the inside, and then I had to tuck it all the way in. That was a bit of a challenge. That took a while. Also, the tape that I had around the rim that was supposed to help seal it, along with the spokes that I had resealed, the sealant had came off of those. The tape had completely came off. Part of that is due to the ride-on fluid I used. Somehow it must have dissolved the adhesion. So at that point I didn't have my spokes, about 4 of them were not covered, and so they're exposed. So after I got the tube in, I tucked the tape between the nipples and the tube. That took a little while. The first time I seated the tire, some of the tape was out. I had to redo it, tuck it back in again. So with all those things and all the trouble that I had, I finally got the tire back on. Now, it's not ideal because I don't know if those nipples are completely covered. I think they are. I have an extra heavy duty tube in. I'm debating on whether I should head home or continue my trip. I'm probably going to continue. If things go really bad, it could go really bad because I don't have another tube. I may try to hit a motorcycle shop. They're gonna be closed tomorrow, probably Monday, so maybe Tuesday on my way home I'll pick up another tube just to have a spare. My God, the traffic is terrible here. On my way home Wednesday, I'll try to stop and have a tube just for a spare. So I've got to get that sorted out. I'm gonna have to take everything back off, put a new rim strip on, get the tube back in. I have an extra tube at home that I can start carrying with me. Okay, in the garage, trying to repair this properly. This is what ended up being the rim strip. The tape here, the ride-on fluid just took all the stickiness out of it. So I got to clean the rim up and redo the refill the spoke holes that came apart. Not to make it tubeless, but just so that I can retape and keep the spokes from rubbing through. I'm done doing tubeless on here. I'm going to stick with just tubes and go with that. I know it's not ideal. It'd be better if it was a tubeless system. It's easier to do a puncture repair, but honestly I think I can do 2 puncture repairs in about 30 minutes if I'm not trying to film. My experiment with the tubeless conversion on this, the first 5,000 miles were great, multiple tires were great, but when this fails, it fails miserably. It's not like having a good tubeless wheel that it's just a tire issue. You manage with the tire, there's no problems with the wheel unless you bend it. You just put a tube in, you're good to go. This was a catastrophic failure with the whole sealant system failing. So I'm done with that. It's gonna be tubes from this point forward, and just accept that I could get punctures and I could get pinch flats and those types of issues, but I typically run a higher pressure anyway to avoid pinch flats. So if you've been interested in wanting to do a tubeless conversion on your wheel, after my experience, I'm not going to do it anymore. It's kind of on you if you want to try it. I probably don't recommend it now, that with the issues that I've had. So anyway, if you got to the end, thanks for watching. Now get out and do some of your own riding. Make sure your tires and tubes are ready to go so you're not having to do roadside repairs or trailside repairs. All right, thanks for watching. Get out, do some riding, ride safe, and I will see you out there.